We got a new main event for Noche UFC as Yair Rodriguez is out of the fight, and replacing him is Jose Delgado. So he'll be taking on John Silva on less than a month's notice. It says it here on MMA Fighting. Shout out to Guilherme Cruz, who's the first one to break the news of the new opponent. I know a lot of people, AG Fight, Marcel, a bunch of people had that Yair Rodriguez was out of the fight. It's also the reason I posted my breakdown. I did the breakdown, a week or two ago, and I was like, I might as well just post it so people can get my opinion on that. But I'm a little bit surprised to see them go with Jose Delgado in the sense that Delgado is a little bit lower down in the rankings. Now, look, I am super happy for Jose Delgado. Exciting fighter, super nice guy, like great interview. I'm really excited to see him get this opportunity, and imagine if he goes out there and pulls this off and gets it done over John Silva. That's gonna be pretty impressive here. So you can see Delgado right now ranked number 14. You got John Silva ranked number 6. So I mean, the person to gain the most from the situation is Delgado. And the other thing I forgot to mention too is that Delgado's from Arizona. That's where this fight's gonna be taking place. Fights out of the MMA lab, so that's probably being factored into this as well, with the fact that Noche UFC going to be taking place taking place in Arizona. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was, in Glendale. So yeah, that certainly makes a lot of sense here. Let's first talk about, just Yair Rodriguez being out of this fight. Like, I mean, I don't know what the UFC does with Yair Rodriguez at this point, because he is a liability. I think at this point, he hardly fights. And a lot of this is injury related. Did have the fight against Pitbull last April, so it's been more than a year since we last saw him compete. I'm not sure why. Doesn't do much media these days either, so I'm not sure what's been keeping him out. You got to go back to 2024, the fight with Ortega, then 2023, had 2 fights in 2023, 1 fight in 2022. He's kind of become a bit of an afterthought. And I remember when this fight was booked with John Silva in the main event, of course, people love the matchup, but people are also like, Yair Rodriguez, like, he hasn't really gained a lot of momentum because he just hasn't fought that much. And even that win over Pitbull, yeah, it was pretty dominant, but not the type of win where you're like, okay, maybe he could like go on some sort of run in the division. Maybe people thought that, but I watched it and I went, okay, well, I mean, that was a good win, but we need to see him fight someone a bit younger and someone a little bit more established in the division. That was Pitbull's debut, if you remember. So yeah, I think this speaks a lot to Rodriguez and his future. Does he get cut? Like, I do wonder if that's something that's crossing the UFC's mind. Obviously, they like doing the Noche event every year, and they do go to Mexico, so they probably keep him around for that. But I do wonder with how many times he's, pulled out of fights. And granted, I'm assuming it's an injury. I guess I should read the article and see exactly what they said here. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a big part of the story, is that Rodriguez has withdrawn from another fight, and he just hasn't been that active. So again, Guilherme Cruz says John Silva will now fight Jose Delgado, pulled out of the card due to undisclosed reasons. Okay, so we don't know if it's an injury or not. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what comes out of this. I would assume it's an injury. I don't think it's a contract thing, because again, they announced this, UFC put this all out there. So yeah, Delgado gets his first main event, as they mentioned. Silva looks to keep his momentum going, as they mentioned here in the article too. So yeah, interesting fight, big opportunity here for Jose Delgado. Let's do a quick tail of the tape between these two. So John Silva is 29 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. Jose Delgado is 28 years old, 5'11" with a 74-inch reach. So Delgado going to be a bit taller here. This is going to have a reach advantage as well, and he's 1 year younger than John Silva in this fight. So pretty interesting there. And we know Silva, just the one loss there to Diego Lopez, and that was a fight that they were both throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Just so happens that Lopez got the better of him and got it done. And I think the Arnold Allen fight really showed that John Silva is a contender in this weight class. Like, that was a good win. Very good win. I saw a lot of people on the Arnold Allen side on that one. Prior to that, not the best opposition here. Did choke out Bryce Mitchell, Melsick, Drew Dober, Charles Jourdain. He missed weight in the Jourdain fight and got an absolute gift in his UFC debut fighting Weston Wilson, where he was a huge favorite in that fight. He was minus 950. Imagine making your UFC debut and you're a minus 950 favorite. Like Weston Wilson a lot, but he wasn't winning that fight. Now, some people had mentioned maybe Kevin Vallejo's taking this fight. I don't know if he was asked. I would be curious about that. I think people do want to see that rematch. I kind of have a feeling that they've been really trying to build up Kevin Vallejos a little bit, and I think like putting him in a short notice opportunity like this, maybe not the best idea. I think they have bigger plans for him. That's just my guess. I have no insight into that. That's part of the reason why I think he didn't get in this fight. As far as other matchups they could have made here, I'm just looking at the list. I know Murphy apparently has a fight signed. It looks like Lopez is going to lightweight. He already fought Arnold Allen. Pat Sabatini, would he have been ready? I'm not sure. He fought recently. Nathaniel Wood could have been. Oh no, Wood's got I think a fight coming up. Oh, Wood's fighting on the Paris card. Suppose they could have moved him back. Was Eustace Alal an option? Not sure. Melky Costa, Steve Garcia, was he an option? Aaron Pico's got a fight coming up here, as that's already been announced. So yeah, I just wonder I wonder if some of these guys were asked and whether they declined it or maybe the UFC didn't think it was a good fight. I am a little bit curious about that. So that's sort of one side note here. Now, Jose Delgado, pretty impressive. Austin Bashi, good win there. Again, the opposition is what people are going to look at going into this fight. Fought Connor Matthews in his debut, finished him in the first round. Matthews not in the UFC. Hyder Emil has not really been the same since he beat him, although that was an impressive 26-second win. I thought he beat Nathaniel Wood. He did miss weight for that fight. But if you go look at the scorecards on MMA decisions, I believe most people thought that Delgado did win that fight. So we could be talking about a guy realistically who's undefeated in the UFC. Yeah, just 2 media members scoring the fight for Wood, the rest scoring it for Delgado. And yeah, Feely got a split there, didn't look his best there, and then got the win over Austin Bashi as well. So yeah, I think if we're going to do the odds on this one, I think you're going to see John Silva about a 3-1 favorite here, even though they're close in age and all that. I just think the experience and the danger factor with Silva and all that is going to make him a pretty big favorite, I would imagine, in this spot. Saying that though, Delgado, if for some reason this fight does go the distance, keep in mind that he is the hometown guy here, so that could be something to look at. But the interesting thing with Delgado, never been finished. So first main event for him, he's stepping up on short notice to take this fight. Silva's had the full camp ready, knew about this fight a while ago, so that's going to be kind of interesting here. I think you got to go with John Silva by stoppage. You do think of that knockout power there. Could see that happening within 5 rounds. It might be a little bit later, could be like a 3rd or 4th round knockout, but I think that's sort of the safe pick here, is John Silva getting it done. But I'm not going to underestimate Jose Delgado. Like, this almost looks like an opportunity of a guy that, again, has not fought the best opposition, but could rise to the occasion. It's in Arizona. Again, he's got a huge opportunity here. I could see him rising to the occasion and potentially making this an interesting fight here. And obviously, if he pulls this off, he will immediately be a contender in the weight class if he takes out John Silva. So I think, though, like I said, Silva should be the pick here as far as the matchup goes. Don't know if I'll have time to do an early look. We'll see if I have some time, if this is one worth digging into as far as the stats go. I did post, like I said, my breakdown of Silva and Yair Rodriguez, and I like John Silva a lot in that fight. I did not like Yair Rodriguez in that spot due to the age and due to the inactivity and just the fact that Silva has been an absolute killer since coming over to the UFC off Contender Series. So yeah, I think it's a good main event. Like I said, I do question where these other guys were as far as other matchups. Sabatini, now that I'm just, because I mentioned him as an option, he didn't fight that long ago, right? And he didn't get on the Philly card either, which was a bit surprising. Yeah, he beat William Gomez in May. Wonder if he was an option. I do wonder about that, because that would have been interesting. 6 and 7 fighting each other. Nathaniel Wood, like I said, is on Paris. Maybe they didn't want to take him out of that fight. Yusuf Salal would have been interesting. Imagine if Yusuf took that and kind of got some redemption for the Aljamain Sterling loss. Wouldn't have minded that. And then obviously Vallejos, there's that history there. Costa, I don't think he's booked or has anything going on. What's he been up to? I'm trying to even remember. He lost his last fight to Arnold Allen. Didn't look so good in that one either. So yeah, and then Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia and John Silva would have been awesome. That's something to consider. But this fight will still be very, very good. I don't want to downplay anything with Delgado. Like I said, I'm happy to see him get this opportunity. But yeah, we got a new main event for Noche. Fun one here with Silva and Delgado. Curious to see your thoughts. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Was this the fight to make? What would have been a better fight in your opinion? And what is your early prediction? Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.